Here with Marcella Kestner and her husband Myron Kestner, and they make brooms. Marcella is going to explain to us how they make the brooms. They even grow their own corn. And is that something that everybody does when they make brooms, Marcella?
Not necessarily. A lot of people go down and purchase it because a lot of people aren't as crazy as we are and want to do all that work ahead of time. But we raise about a half acre, and it looks like field corn, except it has no ears, and it gets about 2 to 3 feet taller than normal field corn would.
And you said it's called broom corn.
Broom corn, that's its sole purpose, is just for making brooms. I mean, so we go out and hand harvest. My husband takes a corn knife and he cuts it down, and then we cut, and it's the tassel off the top that is actually used. He took an old buzz saw and took the blade off of it, put like a wooden log on it with finish nails in it, and as it spins, it works like a curry comb, and it cleans the seed off of it.
Yeah.
And then we lay it in our barn, let it dry. After it's dry, then we clean it all out. Then we sort through by size. The longer stuff we will use in our house brooms, and the shorter we'll use in our whisk brooms. And then we weigh it all out.
And now why do you do that?
So if you come to me in 5 years and you say, I loved that 4-sewing broom that I got from you, I want one just like it. Well, the handle might be a little bit different as far as weight, but you're going to start out with pretty much the same, you can get the same broom from us 5 years now. Okay?
Great.
So that's kind of how that works. Yeah, because once we get it all weighed out and brought here, okay, a lot of the work's already done on it. So what people actually see us doing at a show is really the fun part of it. You know,
that's true.
And a little bit cleaner part of it, because you know, all of the dirty work basically has been done.
Done at home.
But then from there, he will be showing you on the kicker how it's done.
The kicker. Okay. Now Myron just told me he's the boss of this operation, so we're going to let him show us.
What we're going to attempt to do is make what we call a 3-sewing house broom. And to do that, we take this amount of straw, and the reason the wife talked a while ago about the reason we weigh it out, and that's so when we go to a show, it's already bundled up, and if I want to make 1 broom or 50 brooms, I can soak that amount, because once you soak it, it's wet, and it's liable to get moldy if you don't use it up. So we try and use everything up that we use.
Now, does the soaking of it make it more pliable?
It makes so the wire does not cut the straw. And as you can see here, there's a lot of these stems. This is how it's grown. It takes a lot of those to make 1 3-sewing house broom. What I've done, I've inserted a handle in here. I fasten the wire around it. Then we'll start building it. You just grab the first little bundle and you wrap it around there. And the reason I use these leather straps is to keep the straw out of my way while I'm building it. And that's the center part of the broom. Now we're going to start to build the shoulders up. We'll take half of this amount and put on one side. And we'll take the other half. As you can see, it starts to make it an oval type. And we'll take a staple. And I cut this off and round it off so that the cover corn doesn't cut it. Now we're going to put what they call bend over on. And we put it on backwards, and the reason we do that So with the same amount of straw, we get twice the thickness.
Oh, okay.
So we'll put it on backwards. And this is the reason they call it bend over, because it's bent over backwards. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but this machine is called a kicker.
A kicker, okay.
And I think the reason they come up with that is because you use your foot to kick the wooden wheels down there.
How many brooms do you think you've made over the years?
I don't know.
All by hand?
All by hand. I mean, they do them a lot faster in a factory, but we take a little pride in what we do here. And this is what they call cover corn. And what we've done, we've finished what they call the inside of the broom,
Okay.
and now we're going to put cover corn on it. It adds more straw, and it actually hides the wire and stuff underneath.
Is that a different type of corn?
It's the
that you
same
grow?
type of
Same
straw.
type? Okay,
It's a little bit finer.
all right. I noticed you have some black
Okay,
in
this
there.
has been dyed. The black has been dyed in
Okay.
there. And we most generally have like 7 different colors that is dyed broom corn. It just makes a few of our brooms look a little different.
Yeah.
And we'll put a nail in it to hold the wire.
Okay.
And we'll just wrap that around the wire nail. Then we'll put a rundown staple in it.
Okay.
Then it's ready to sew.
It's ready to sew in the finished products.
When it comes
Great.
off here, it's basically round.
Okay.
And I think your question was going to be,
Yes.
what are these? And that's that bend over straw that
Okay.
I put on both sides.
So that'll be trimmed down?
That'll be trimmed off later.
Okay.
After it's like this, we let it dry for like a day. So what we've got here is what we made yesterday. And we put it in this machine here,
Okay.
and all what this does, it flattens the straw out. It pinches it
Press-
together.
Okay.
Then we take our sewing cuffs and a needle, and then we hand stitch it. And then we either put 2, 3, 4, or 5 rows of stitching in here, depending
Okay.
on what size of broom
Yes.
that we're making. When we get our stitching in here, we take it out of this machine and we bring it over to this machine here. And this is like a paper cutter.
Okay.
You lay it in here and then you chop the top of it off. And then we end up with the finished product.
Amazing. Great. We've seen the process of how they make the brooms, and I noticed you have some really unique brooms in your stand. Can you tell me something
well,
about these?
my husband, he started out with this one. See, we always made, people would come to us and ask for a wedding broom, which is where you forks out, where 2 become 1. Well, as we were making a wedding broom, he come up with this idea, which looks like a friendship broom of like 2 people shaking hands.
Yes.
Okay.
I see that.
And then he come up with the idea of this one, and this is the one that he did last year, and it looks like 2 people with their arms.
That's
it looks like 2
beautiful.
people with their arms around each other.
Beautiful.
I
Now,
just,
what is this?
Now that is the stalk of the broom corn. See, we
Okay.
keep some of, you know, I said it was hand harvested.
Yes.
We keep some of it, and as you can see, this is the stalk that we use.
beautiful.
cut the stalk in half, and then that's the way we do a lot of the plated materials, like on the deer antler brooms. You see
Yes.
those? That's the stalk
Okay.
that we use. So we use as much of the broom corn that we
Right.
possibly can.
That's beautiful, that weaving.
Oh, it's
just adds
gorgeous.
a nice technique.
He's quite talented.
Yes, he is. What about these handles?
Now the handles came from his farm, and it's cedar. We just went out and we liked the fork because we have to find just the right fork. They can't be too far apart or too close together, or then we can't get in there to do the plating. So,
Sure.
you know, so we go stick hunting quite often. You know,
Stick
take
hunting.
the grandchildren and we go stick hunting.
That
you know.
sounds safe.
It is.
Now you also have over here, I see some jewelry.
Yes,
What can you tell me
I
about that?
I raise Indian bead corn, is
Another
what it's
type of
called.
corn.
It's a type of corn, but it's just now coming up. It's a corn about 3 foot tall, and where a leaf is, there'll be like one bead will shoot out. And what I'm talking about is these beads right here, okay? That,
Oh my gosh.
okay?
Isn't that
Depending on what stage I pick them is how I get the variety in the colors, and you can see there's
Really?
dark ones and light
Yes.
ones, and they go all the way to a white tone.
really? That is
Now
beautiful.
they're called Cherokee Indian bead corn, and they're fun to work with. I pull the little stem out with a pair of tweezers, pull the stem out, and there's a natural hole in them.
Really?
They are hard as a rock.